You're muted, dear.
Best bungling ever.
Yes! Okay, so I got my one muting myself as I go to talk of the game out of the way. That'll never happen again this game. That's my guarantee. I'm also lying. So, yes, it's Ryan, and I'm back with the ASPAC crew. Only half of us are actually ASPACians, but hey, it all counts. And talking Lynch smack in the chat already. Nice. This time we're playing Tall Pines by Miles Gaborit, whose name I probably just slaughtered. It's very Twin Peaks inspired. Only like half of us have seen Twin Peaks, which is perfect. And I am psyched to see how this goes. It's really card heavy, so we're using Roll20. There's going to be a lot of visuals that you don't see. It doesn't really matter. They're mostly sort of free association almost. I'll see if I can throw the deck up on camera at some point. But that's irrelevant. Right now, what's important is that, again, I'm Ryan, he, him pronouns, and Ellen is currently eating spaghetti, so she's off cam. But she's here. You'll have to believe me.
She, her.
And then let's have Sid take it next, I guess.
Sid, he, him talking shit about David Lynch.
He deserves it. And Tyler?
I'm Tyler, he, him, and I'm defending the brilliance of David Lynch.
It's okay that you're wrong, because I love you, and this is a safe place. So, oh, and in case anybody watching this isn't aware of Gauntlet Hangouts, first off, how did you find this? But second, Gauntlet Hangouts, it's pretty awesome. You should go play some games. And starting things that I usually forget, so I'm trying not to this time, is the safety tools. As usual, cognitive load tends to mean that I forget everything that's not the X card, and everything becomes an X card to me. So you all kind of know how that works. If at any point something comes up that is not comfortable or is just ruining your fun, you can throw up an X in chat, whatever, and it is gone. We might ask a few clarifying questions to make sure that we don't accidentally reintroduce it, but you don't need to say anything more than you want to, and you're welcome to put that in chat so that it's not recorded. Because it's a me game, I do know that it pops up in the show Twin Peaks, but we're not going to have the creepy sexual assault molestation angle, because no. So that's out. And preemptively X'd. Is there anything else people want to cut right off the bat, or... Awesome. Should anything come up, again, feel free to let us know. We will work it around. Everybody here's cool. So if you look over at Roll20, yes, you're cool, Sid. Deal with it. You'll see we've got a few rows. Top two don't matter right now. That second one that's just a row of pictures is going to be really important because that's our symbols. And one of the ways that you make scenes weirder is by taking control of them momentarily by playing a symbol into someone else's scene. And then they get to deal with it. For now, draw your attention to that bottom row that has a list of character archetypes. And I'm going to pull this up to make sure that I'm not slaughtering the intro. Nope, okay. So, what we know so far, and sort of the only similarity to Twin Peaks we really have to have, is that we are in the small town of Tall Pines, and 18-year-old local has turned up murdered in the prime of their life. We don't know what happened, or why, or anything. We'll need to give them a name, and then the intro questions on each of these characters. It's 42, Sid. I'm so ashamed of you. Will help flesh out who that person is. None of these characters are tied to any one person. You'll pick one when you start a scene, but everyone may eventually end up using all of them. And yeah, you're... Sorry, that snickering at Sid failing a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy joke in chat and trying not to mock him too much on camera. So first off, would anyone like to name our murder victim? I was gonna call you out, Tyler, so go for it.
Let's go with Stewart.
Are you feeling a U or an EW, Stewart, or does it matter to you?
I like an EW.
Okay. Do you have a last name in mind?
Cooper.
Cool. Sorry, the great thing about the ASPAC crew is that there's a vibrant chat that is full of jokes, and unfortunately it means that it is really hard to keep a straight face on camera, because now we've got Stuart Little jokes going on. So, Sid, for ruining everything by making me laugh on camera again, how about you take the establishing question for federal agent? If you can't read that, you can feel free to drag an edge and make it bigger.
I can zoom in. I have the power. If you got inside the killer's head last scene, right? Not that. What connects the murder to the case you've been following? What connects the murder to the case you've been following? I love like weird like zodiac-y calling cards, right? So, what if the only thing found in the victim's pockets was a business card to like the town's auto mechanic, and that's just something that's been popping up. They all have the only thing in their pockets is the business card of a local mechanic, and they're the mechanic murders, guys. It's like a thing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So one thing about Roll20 is that it really does not like me rearranging text. It doesn't care so much about cards, but it hates me rearranging text. So if you see text bopping all over the place, that's me swearing silently.
Is it the snap to grid that's causing you trouble?
Probably. Do you know how to make that not?
Is it's either control or shift, which is when you here it is. No, I'll look for it. You keep doing your thing. I'll tell you when I find it.
Okay, cool. So I would call out Ellen, but I think she's still eating spaghetti, and that's a good excuse. So
I can have a spaghetti break.
Cool. Then how about you take the establishing question for local sheriff, or a different card if you really like a different question. Liv Tyler with the ones you don't want. That sounds fair.
No, I'm cool with local sheriff. If you sought details about the murder in the last scene, flip this card over. Okay. What outside influence do you suspect is somehow responsible for the murder? Outside influence. So are those colorful cards that we can see? Are they just there for a purpose, or are they just for inspiration? Or
there's for inspiration, sort of, but they will become important once we get into building scenes, because they're how you throw complications into people's scenes.
Okay.
Or color, or whatever.
All right. Oh, so, and it says shame down the bottom of the local sheriff card.
Again, that will be relevant in a moment. But right now, use it if you want, but it doesn't have to be important.
All right. Outside.
There's a lot of layers, and I'm trying not to front load them too much.
Ooh, okay. There is a large franchise that has been trying to buy in on town, get in on town, and like part of their franchise is that they have like an auto mechanics part of their deal. Like, Kmart here, some of them have like a little service center attached to it.
I love this.
Maybe it's like a 7-Eleven petrol station, Caltex or whatever, that has wants to have a service station, and so they're feeling a bit sus. And Ryan, you call and sit out on the 42 reference. Like,
Yes.
So, luggage icon, yes. Pratchett reference picked up. Have you seen the other reference? Do I have to cancel you as being my friend?
Oh no, am I missing other references?
Yeah, man.
It's a big TARDIS. It's TARDIS cross the luggage.
Oh, I saw that and totally didn't process it at all. It was just details. But yes, it's Doctor Who luggage. Now I see it.
I won't cut you off just yet.
Well, I mean, 66% is still a passing grade in the US, at least. Just not a very good one.
Yes, our education system, the envy of the world.
50% is a passing grade here, so that's my university degree. Please get degrees.
Okay, then I'm gonna pass the buck to Tyler. Tyler, grab a intro question and go with it.
Alrighty. I think I'll go with the best friend, which is next up. What part of the victim's life did you envy most? I think Stuart... I think to go along with kind of our education thing here, I think Stuart was probably like the smartest student in school and had already gotten a scholarship to like an Ivy League school.
Awesome.
Love it.
So the question I'm looking at is on the bad influence. What did the victim tell you they were scared of? And okay. Sorry. Looking at the chat, just going, what on earth? And then got it. One thing I do not understand is why it hides text under so many layers in here. So I'm going to say the victim told the bad influence they were scared of. They'd gotten some not really threatening, just very strange notes popping up like in their car or in their locker around, and they weren't sure who or what they were from. And oh my goodness, I'm reading you telling me to stop reading the chat. I hate you so much, Sid. How dare you?
Run the gam.
I will not run any gam. And since you are mocking me, you get to pick the next one, Sid. Go for it.
Am I still doing these same things? These same peeps?
Yes, we have 6 of these establishing questions. Student filmmaker and thankless handyman have not been established yet.
We've been going left to right. So I'm gonna break that and go thankless handyman. What did? Oh shit! The thankless handyman did car repairs. Ryan,
I thought you were foreshadowing, but okay.
Fuck, this game is the best.
You're so good at the game, you didn't even read the text before looping it in.
I did not. That's when you know something's good, when like the stuff that you think and the stuff the game thinks is equal. What did the victim do to show gratitude when you fixed their car? Now we know that Stuart is a smart gentleman who got into an Ivy League school. What did he do to show gratitude? Shouldn't have picked this one. Let's say that Stuart I think like Stuart was going to I think Stuart was like a good like landscapey artist in his spare time. Probably not great actually, but it was something that he enjoyed doing. And so inside the like I say reception, but it's probably just like one similar room. There's like a painting of the town from atop like the nearby mountain that encompasses the entirety of the town in like this like amateur oil paints that he painted for the thankless handyman. And it's the painting would be of like a foggy morning, so like it's just the buildings and the pine trees sticking out through the fog.
Nice. And something I probably should have been doing as we were going along, but why don't you pick out a name for the handyman while I'm singling you out for mocking me?
Brilliant. Okay. The handyman. I'm gonna violate premise. I think the handy woman is like her name's probably like Margaret or something like that, but everyone just calls her Maggie. She's real down to earth. None of that Mrs. stuff. Just call me Maggie.
I was totally going to introduce that character with, and it doesn't have to be a man if you don't feel like it, but you beat me to it, so yay.
Ryan, you froze. Or did I freeze?
I'm still seeing everyone moving.
Oh, okay. It was just me then.
Okay.
I missed the last thing you said, but...
Oh, yay for not being bound by gendered language on the cards.
Yeah! What's the designer's name, by the way?
Miles Gaborit, which I'm probably slaughtering.
Take that, Miles.
Yes, talk trash about the game designer, who's probably a very nice guy. He seemed nice when I met him. I feel like there's a small chance he'll see this and be hurt or something, which is probably not true.
I just said something really good about the game, so now I can say something about gendered language. That's fine.
Yes. And again, if you look at the full set of these, they're pretty much just Twin Peaks characters. That's probably why a lot of it comes up, but Twin Peaks, David Lynch, we don't need any of that. So, we've got one question left. What movie character does the victim remind you of? Does anyone have movie characters in mind?
I wouldn't, and this is the victim, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about, like, say, Ferris Bueller? or, like Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future. Someone that everyone in town just loves and thinks is perfectly wholesome.
I would paint Save Stuart on the water tower.
I was naming our student filmmaker Ferris Bueller, which is not probably their name. But while I'm accidentally naming them things, why don't you pick a name for them?
What, the student filmmaker?
Yeah, or a different character if you really have feelings about what the sheriff's name is. They eventually all need names.
Let's name the student filmmaker Kurtz.
Kurtz, like, goes by a last name?
Mm-hmm.
How would you spell
very
that?
avant-garde.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Ha, okay. That's what I was thinking.
Man, I can see this student filmmaker already. Goes by their last name. Oh god. And a name like Kurtz as well. That's such a Apocalypse Now-y kind of thing.
So, how about Ellen? Give us a name for one of the characters. We've got 4 remaining without names or identifiers.
How about Sheriff Blunstone? What do you reckon, Sid? Do you like that reference? I don't know if you
I'm
you guys,
missing the reference. I'm so ashamed of myself.
Blunstones are a type of boots. Yeah.
I have no idea if I spelled that right, so feel free to berate me.
He's made up. I'm sure he won't be offended. Or she. Yeah, let's make a Sheriff Louise Blunstone.
Oh, I love it.
I approve.
And like the locals call her Louie.
Louie. Ryan the Bad Influence. Their name is Badger.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
Well, I'll go with the best friend then. I think Stuart's best friend is named Charlie. I think that's always a very pleasant name.
That
That's
is
a
a
good
wonderful name.
best friend sort of name.
And that should leave you with the Fed agent.
Apparently so. So I'm going to continue our string of having all of the important characters who would normally default to men being women instead, and have Special Agent Martina Rodriguez. Probably need to put a space in that. Why is text so weird in here? Whoops. Heck. Oh well, whatever. Okay. So now we've got that setup stuff out of the way. The major things we've got going on here are that we are going to build scenes, which are going to be very cinematic. You're used to framing things as if we were on a TV show. That's exactly how you do it here. You frame a scene in our show using scene cards, which I will deal some out so you can see what those look like. And that list, well, I guess a bank of images. Oh, I totally should have done that. The two boring first names. Oh my goodness, that was a missed opportunity.
I love Martina. I want to know Martina more.
Well, fine then.
I got given cards. I have cards now. I'm winning this game.
Yes, you have cards. So, it's worth noting up front that each act lasts until all of us have had a chance to do one scene. And the Act 1 closes at the bottom. You can look at that ahead of time if you want to know what we're steering toward, so you can drop in foreshadowing and stuff. The other acts are below it. They're not really important, but you can peek at them if you want. But whoever is framing a scene will both pick one protagonist to be the lead of it. They can be any protagonist they like. And then one scene from their hand. And we'll start framing said scene. At any point you can call out other players to be like, hey, why don't you play that guy I just mentioned? Or why don't you bring in the student filmmaker? Because of course Kurtz is here making a film. Or whatever. And they have to do so because you have cast them as such. Or they can probably offer to. I mean, we're all cool here. Except maybe Sid. And also, anyone can grab one of these images from that bank. These are all currently shared images. Play it into the scene and tell us how it appears. So if you grab, say, that snarling dog, it could be, and then, you know, the neighbor's dog that hates you shows up. How do you deal with that? Or whatever you want to do. At the end of the scene, any of those that you picked will return to your hand to become your images. The major thing is you can only play one card into the scene, and there can't be more than 3 cards added in. So basically, everybody gets one chance to add something to the scene. Don't go overboard. And if at any point you have no cards in your hand and your scene rolls around, you just don't get a scene. So maybe don't spend them all in one place, although I don't think there's much chance of us running out unless you want to interject onto everybody's scenes. And the secret cards in your hand, you'll see have 3 colored bars, like mine I will drag out to show you. Adds 3 shames. So if at any scene we play has shame come up 3 times, like if I play the best friend and then there's scenes added on to combine so that we have 3 shames out on the board, doesn't matter what else is out on the board too, I get to then interrupt the next scene as my secret. Again, we'll kind of go over that at the end of scenes, but just so you know to watch for it, and if you want to play your secret, you can try to steer things by playing scenes on. Yes, it's a shame. Oh, one other way that you can complicate scenes that are ongoing, besides drawing these symbols in, is playing one of your scene cards in. So like if we've established that the scene is taking place at the diner, you can play in a completely unrelated scene, and ta-da, scene change, they continue on, or this affects it somehow. Basically, you also have directorial ability, even if you're not the person framing the scene. So feel free to mess with them. We're all trying to tell a cool story here. It's not really adversarial, even though I phrase it that way. And as the person who brought the game, I think I have to go first, which is blah, but also fair. So I'm looking through my scene cards to see what I want to start off with. So as I'm playing out the scene card, you'll note that it also has a tone at the bottom. The three major tones that we're going to have are resolve, which is your will to find the answers and solve the case and that kind of stuff. Shame, which is the will to sweep everything under the rug and hide your problems from outsiders. Or understanding, which is the urge to sympathize with and, to some extent, explain away the killer. Again, probably doesn't matter so much right now, but good to be aware of those. So, dang, I have to pick a protagonist. Pardon me singing to myself while I think. I'm gonna snag Charlie, because Charlie seems like a good sort of dude. And just move him up to current scene for a second, because he's in play. So, the major rule about scenes is that when they start, you start by describing what the camera sees now. We're probably all used to this, but it's written into the game, so I feel like I have to explain it. So, as the scene starts, we see the local sheriff's office, which isn't a thing we have up here, so I'm kind of pretending based upon TV. And there's Charlie looking like a very just... If you were going to cast the good-natured kid next door who is really just a sidekick to everything, you might have picked Charlie. He's got kind of nondescript brown hair, that, you know, flannel shirt open over a t-shirt that's never really in style, but never really out of style. He just looks very unassuming. Like, you could probably have him watch your house and he wouldn't get up to anything. Very trustworthy sort of kid. Saying, you know, like, but I told you he was getting all these notes and stuff, and he was really scared. And I know he tried reporting it, and nobody ever did anything. To, I'm gonna say, the local sheriff, who I am also gonna say is played by Tyler.
All right. Okay.
Ryan, you are so aggressive. Ryan, play the game.
All right.
This is what you get when you keep goading me to play the game.
Okay. Then I suppose Sheriff was it Blunstone. There we go. Louis. Sheriff Blunstone is hearing this, and could you repeat again what Charlie said?
Charlie said that before they found his bodies, Stuart had been getting like these weird, kind of creepy notes all over, and he was kind of scared. He tried reporting it, and they never did anything about it because they said they couldn't, you know, like get a suspect or anything. But now he's dead, so you know, were you gonna look into this?
Charlie, we've been looking into all the relevant clues. We've been taking care of this. I understand you're upset. Everyone's upset, Charlie. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Don't worry. Why don't you just go on back home?
I mean, nothing's gonna get solved just sitting at home. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Just wait around?
Well, We're the police, Charlie. So, yeah, you're just gonna wait around. It's all gonna be fine. Don't worry, Charlie. It's all good. As the sheriff pats him on the shoulder.
You can see Charlie just kind of fuming, but he can't quite get up the nerve to yell at an authority figure more than he already has. And so he's kind of like trying to find ways to stay here, but also he needs to leave, and it's just not going the way he wants.
You know, Charlie, you told us about these notes. Stuart told us about these notes. You don't know who wrote them, though, do you?
No, I mean, if I did, I would have told you or done something about it or something, but, like, I mean, that's what you do, right?
That's right, Charlie.
But,
That's what we do.
but, like, did you look into, I mean, Maggie or something, maybe? I mean, her card was in his pocket. I mean, maybe it was her.
Now, we don't want to throw around accusations now, do we, Charlie?
I mean,
May
that's
I,
how crimes get solved. May you what?
Two things. First off, porridge. Secondly,
Porridge.
Ryan, playing stuff to interrupt the scene.
Yeah.
I think I have a scene that. Wait, is it just the? I was going to call them eidolons. Is it just the inspiration pictures, or can we play scenes out of our hand?
You can play a scene in or a symbol / eidolon / whatever you like. Free association picture, but one or the other.
I'm going to play a scene in, and I'm going to ask the question. So my scene. Let me drag it out. My scene is called Unwanted Company, and in it, the last person that you would want around enters the situation, just stopping by to make things more difficult.
I love that so much. You're already so good at this.
So my question is, you're the protagonist of this scene, Charlie. Who is the last person you want to be stopping by?
I mean, probably Maggie, given that he just accused her of murdering his best bud, but...
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. So where does, like, narrative authority come into this? Do I play that, and then is that a prompt for you, or how does that...
I am quickly consulting the rules to see if it has a firm ruling on who gets it. But really, whatever it says, I don't care. I figure if you put it in, then you get to pop in and interrupt, and I will work around it, because that's more exciting to me.
Yeah, I reckon, I reckon that, like, as you say, like, have you investigated Maggie? Her card was in his pocket. Then her voice is like from off camera behind you. You hear like the what's all this about investigating, and she like it just enters the scene, and I imagine that being like who she is in the work she is, she's just like this force of personality. She like enters the room like a whirlwind, and like nothing that she walks past is unchanged.
I think Sheriff Louis looks over and in that kind of calm, almost sedated look. Oh, Maggie, little Charlie here was just talking about you.
Oh, hi, Maggie.
Yeah, I was going to say, so do I take Maggie as like a protagonist here, or?
I don't think the rules say you have to, but you definitely have to, so yeah.
I was going to say, or can I force it onto Ellen? So that I can just sit and enjoy your acting on my own. Okay. Yeah, I think she like, so she walks in and she puts a hand down, like her whole arm down on a filing cabinet, and we just see like the the oil smudges on her hands like put on top of the paperwork on top of this filing cabinet, and she just like leaves a big half palm print sitting on top of this thing, and she says, you know, like, how old do we reckon Charlie is?
Well, we know Stuart Cooper was 18, probably just recently turned 18 since he's just headed off to college. So Charlie's probably right around the same age, either just recently turned 18 or just about to.
Okay. Yeah, she's like really sort of infantilized. She's like, now, Charlie, ain't you been told it's a bit rude to talk about people when they're not company? And she like looks down at you from above, this like big broad-shouldered body in overalls, and she's like, ain't your mum ever teach you how to be polite?
You can see Charlie sort of fighting that gotta be polite to the adults impulse and trying to square himself up, but he's definitely smaller than Maggie. She's very beefy and he's not. Going, yeah, but I mean, that's part of police work, right? Saying stuff about people who aren't around and looking for the answers and the truth and stuff. And it's not about people's feelings; it's about what happened.
Charlie, I think you're just letting the emotions get the worst of you here. I understand. Things like this are very traumatic. We're all upset. And she smiles broadly at you.
There we go. Muted myself as I go to talk for the second time. I'm on a run. Yeah, and I think Charlie tries to say something a couple times, and it looks like he's not sure if he's gonna punch something or cry, but either way he just kind of turns around and leaves quickly, and I think that's scene. So our three tones... Oh, were you going to say something?
You say something?
I said I love it. I was
cool.
carding you. I was saying that Ryan's I don't know whether to punch or cry thing was so perfect.
So our three tones this time around were shame, resolve, and understanding. So if anyone has all three of those on their secret, they immediately play their secret. If not, doesn't matter. These cards go away now.
Do the other characters count in for this?
No, only the lead protagonist counts in for this.
Gotcha, cool. I was just making sure because that would have you.
Somebody has a secret. Okay, so before we address the secret, let's address whether any of these protagonist questions happened. In this case, every protagonist that appeared in the scene, if their top line on the white section took place, then the card is going to flip over. So did the best friend do something risky in this scene, do y'all think?
I don't think so.
I want to push you harder on risky.
Yeah, that didn't seem terribly risky to me. And I don't think our thinkless handyman fixed anything so much as put oily handprints on things. And our local sheriff didn't seek details about the murder, she just sought getting a kid to get out of her face. So nobody flips this time.
Fucking worse. But sorry, Ryan, is the flipping like a pacing thing, or like does that?
It varies the tone some. Let me flip one of them to show you.
Secrets.
Yes, no, not actually secretive, really. So if we flip over the local sheriff, then it becomes a different thing. She then counts as the resolve tone until we have a scene where she exposed guilt, and then she goes back to shame, which is primarily about hiding things.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it just varies the tones that pop up.
Okay.
And encourages you to drive toward different things.
Awesome.
So, is that your secret card? Or whose secret card is this?
It is mine.
Yay!
Can you make that bigger? Because I can't read it and
Yeah.
I can't expand it. Please?
I'll make it super big.
Thank you.
So
Alright.
let's also flip it, because you don't need to see that side anymore.
Okay.
So these ones are fairly self-explanatory, but they're a scene made entirely out of symbol cards that you get directorial control over, unless you want to tag other people in.
Sorry, just being all excited. Okay, so choose a protagonist, then choose 3 symbol cards and use them to create a scene that answers the question: who accuses you of being the killer, and how do you refute their charges? All right. Okay. All right. So, dog, park. Well, walkie trail. And
These images are all deliberately vague, so you may lay whatever meanings you like on them.
yeah, I'm planning on that. Okay, go away then, dogs. And I would, and then the breakfast cafe type scene. So they're my symbol cards, and I am going to choose the student filmmaker as the protagonist. Boo-ba-da-boo, boo-boo, boo-ba-da-boo. I can't fit all the cards in. I'll make it go on the side. All right. I need. Okay. Ooh, those new scenes look gross. Ryan's brought in a dead rat and a long burnt cigarette. Thanks. The tree's nice though. Thanks, Ryan. At least there's something.
Sorry, some of the images are less pretty than others.
All right. So, so we have the student filmmaker, and when they were taking their dog for a walk through the foggy pines early one morning before school, and they passed someone on their way, and it triggered some memories from some footage that they'd been producing. They realized that they didn't know this person, but they had some footage. Kurtz was filming around town, like trying to capture bustling tall pines at night, and got some, like, there was one couple sitting at a table at this all-night diner thing that does breakfast at 3 a.m. And so when after Stuart's death, he went back to the tape and saw that there was this person that he didn't know that well having 3 a.m. breakfast with Stuart. And it wasn't it wasn't until he saw them walking that morning that they realized, I recognized you. and he didn't know them at the time, but he just stopped, like walked past this woman, stopped dead in his tracks, and turned around. Hey, wait up! And the woman turned around. She was going for an early morning jog. Hey, what's your name? I've seen you around. And she's said, I've been in town recently, doing some, like I work with the feds. I'm Agent Rodriguez. Do you have something to tell me about these recent crimes? And Kurtz just stops and looks at her and goes, Do you have something to do with these crimes? I saw you just the day before Stuart died. You were there with him at the diner. Spoopy. Sydney? Spoopy? Sydney's writing. Okay, he's writing some text in the chat. Spoopy is a new slang word for spooky. Yeah, I don't really want to do anything else there. Does anyone else want to play around with that? Did I?
Yeah, I mean, that could stand on its own if you want to call it there, because you get complete say over when the scene is done. Or if you want to make other people do stuff in it, you can tell them that they have to play a person now. But you can also just say that that was it. And that he accused a special agent.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love it.
And I don't think he uncovered the town's secrets, so we're just going to return him still that side up to the protagonist's bar.
And is that my secret done for the session? So that's
yes.
Yes.
You do not get other secrets, but you do get to take all 3 of those symbols into your hand and then use them to interrupt people if you want.
Ooh.
Or you can use them to buy new scenes with which to interrupt people.
Yes. I'm going to interrupt all the people.
Haha. And we're going to take, I think, maybe a 5-minute break because I had a request for breaks and I could use some more coffee. So I'll meet you back here in about 5.
Sounds good.
Hello again. And in the interest of transparency, except for Sid, because he's not here, so he doesn't get the secret knowledge, I'm keeping rough track, well, actually, exact track, of how many of these tones are played in are scenes, not Sids. I know words. Because whatever is predominant at the end will kind of color our act closing scene.
I really do love this game. I think it's so cool. I admit I am like sort of sleepy, so I'm not doing justice to it yet. I feel confident that I'm going to rally, but this is such a nifty game. It really is a neat game.
Yeah, I feel like it's better served by playing it physically, but given that I've had a physical copy for years and never played it, clearly that's not working out so hot. So digitally is the next best option.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the mechanics. Seems pretty fun.
And I like the free association aspect of the symbols. When I first played it, though, they were very low res and printed off on kind of a bad printer, so you couldn't really tell what they were a lot of the time, and it was just like, here's a dead rat, and I'm like, are you sure that's not a lump of dirt? And he's like, nope, we're calling it a dead rat now, and you run with it. So now they're actually somewhat clear about what they're supposed to be. Whether that's a benefit or not, who knows?
I love you, Sid, so much.
I am not watching that spooky, scary skeletons thing right now, although I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head forever.
Oh man, what an event!
So now I can't frame another scene until the end of this, but everyone else still is allowed to frame another scene. Ellen's secret scene doesn't really count. And it just passes to whoever has an idea next, which isn't a great way of passing turns, but somebody can call dibs, or I can just stare at somebody until they go for it.
I have an idea.
Then do it.
All right. I think I'm going to, well, I know I'm not really thinking. I'm actually doing it, so I know that I'm doing it. I'm going to play a card, which will be my scene card, if I'm correct. I could get it to get up there. There we go. There it is. Where they were found. A cold beach up against a logging road, more pebbles than sand, just where the river widens out. Crime scene tape flutters in the wind. And I think I would like to bring in the federal agent, Martina Rodriguez. And I stuck that right up underneath something. There we go. And so there she is. And I would kind of like someone to maybe play. Let's see. Do I choose who's in it? Is that what I do?
You have the power to cast anything you want, so you can tell people that they are playing this character now. Or you could ask for volunteers if you want.
Right. I think I would like to have the sheriff there as well, if someone would like to play her.
I'll join you.
There we go.
I'll try your condescending sheriff.
All right.
In the interest of keeping things moving, I was going to be like, I will if no one else does, but it looks like Sid's going to say something.
I'm always going to say something. I'm a white middle-class male. You want an opinion, you look my way.
You're an influencer.
Oh, that's so true, Sid.
All right. I think we have Agent Rodriguez there looking over the scene, doing the normal kind of casing the area when we see the sheriff come walking up or moving up. And Agent Rodriguez looks over. Sheriff, I was just checking out the crime scene. I take it that, that you didn't find anything that's pointed to a solid lead?
No, I canvassed the area, and I got some statements, and I think we get this feeling that like Louis is this small town sheriff that is doing real police work for probably the first time in her life, and so these words feel like really heavy and clunky in her mouth, and she says, "But I'm here to peruse some evidence at the crime scene."
I see. Yes. Sheriff, I saw across the wire that there was a card found in the victim's pocket. A local mechanic, is that right?
Yes. I've spoken to Maggie, the mechanic. Sorry, to Margaret, and I got her statement, and yes, I. She's just like, I can chalk that one up to coincidence. It's nothing. It's nothing that we need to worry about.
I don't think it's coincidence, Sheriff. This isn't the first time I've seen this. I was in Seattle. Young lady there, in her pocket, Lube Job Louie, his card. I was in Philadelphia, and Oil and Spin was in a pocket of a young man there. I'm telling you, this is one of the mechanic murders.
I'm gonna throw like okay, good job, Tyler, good job. I want Sheriff Blunstone to disclose that one of the witnesses that she has talked to has given her a photo that was captured at an all-night diner with a digital stamp of being like 3 a.m. the day before the murder. And it clearly shows Agent Martinez and Stuart Cooper eating pancakes.
Oh, that's so good. Okay. I love it. I love it. So I think we see her like pull the picture out from her pocket, and she looks at it and like takes this deep breath. And she's like, Agent Rodriguez. One of the things that I found while I was getting statements is I asked if anyone had unusual contact with the victim, and well, actually, she probably doesn't say victim. She probably says with Stuart, and I need you to explain this for me. And she passes over the photo, and it's like folded. It's probably been physically folded into like quarters, and so like it's still creased and crumpled a little bit.
Yeah, I came into town a couple of days ago. Some threats. The boy apparently had reported to you that he had received unusual things, his locker, at home. you gotten in touch with the agency. I was intrigued. I came in to take a look. Spoke with him. At the time, it seemed, well, it seemed like it was just another false lead, Sheriff. I sort of blame myself.
And it was, I'm sure. That's excellent detective work. Everyone loved Stuart. No one in this town would have hurt him. It's boy, the kids at school, they idolized the Cooper kid. There's someone. What, he was sick for 2 days, and someone painted his name on the water tower. It just, he is loved by so many people. I couldn't imagine it was anything more than kids playing around. But you know, they see the big city movies, and something gets in their head, and they want to make a big deal out of it.
Ryan, am I correct? I can bring in inspiration pictures. Is that right? In my scenes?
That's a good question. Let me double check, because I can't remember if you're allowed to expand upon your own scenes or not.
Check real quick, but as the sheriff says this to me, I'm like, well, this isn't a movie, Sheriff, and a boy's dead. Boom, boom, boom.
Nope. You can narrate freely with anything you like, but only other people can play a card in to alter the scene.
And so, you know, I think she's Rodriguez is looking around the place as she, you know, says this isn't a movie, Sheriff. And as she looks, she catches over near the riverbank set of gloves that have been caught in the brush at the edge of the river. Moves over, picks them up, and they're covered in oil.
And I'm playing in a symbol card to say that Special Agent Rodriguez is lying about something. You can pick what she's lying about, but she's lying.
Oh, Ryan's so good at gams.
Okay. Yeah, she picks up these gloves. I've seen this before. It's the calling card of the mechanic murderer. I'm on his trail, Sheriff. I need your help. Or at least, I need you to stay out of my way. And maybe that's C.
Yeah, I don't want to add anything to that. That's awesome. Ryan, do we? Oh man, do we have to reveal what it was that she was lying about, or can we kind of?
We don't really have to. I could have said, so she's lying about what she just said. Deal with it. But I kind of wanted to have Tyler just be creepy, so I was willing for it to be vague.
That's not bad.
I mean, that's sort of like asking him to be Tyler, but...
Yeah, and we all win.
Yeah. So, did the federal agent get inside the killer's head, do you think? I don't really think so.
Nah.
Oh, and we didn't have 3 tones anyway, so nobody gets to reveal a secret, which is probably good, because if we burn all our secrets in the first act, that's a little weird. What just happened here?
Are there 3 acts?
Yes, there are 3 acts. And did the sheriff seek details about the murder? It's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll listen. I'm a listener.
It sounded like she was presenting evidence and hoping it would get swept under the rug, so I think I'm going to say no, unless people want to argue it.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
And yeah, Sid is so good at being a bad cop. Oh, and Ellen, you can take back your diner, because you can continue to play that on stuff whenever you like. So, it's between Sid and Elle. Who wants to start the next scene?
I think I've got one, which is if I may, Elle. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna get you to play into it anyway, so yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna direct you. So, where the bad kids go, a generation's lost history of innocence, booze secreted, furniture left to rot in the rain. Where does irresponsibility end and evil begin? And it's a shame tag. And I think I want to see a scene with Badger because we haven't seen some Badger yet. So, but I'm not sure if I want Badger to be the protagonist. Does that distinction really matter? I don't think it does.
You're all the protagonists of the show. It's just who's the lead protagonist of the scene. Like, whose scene is it really?
Okay. Yeah, right. I think it's still gonna be the sheriff's scene, but I think that the scene is like the sheriff going to ask some questions of where the bad kids go, including Badger. So what are the rules here? Do I have to do I as a player have to be in this scene, or can I task it out to other people? Because I'm down with just like making y'all dance.
It does say that you determine what the protagonist you chose is doing, saying, and thinking.
Okay.
But it also says that you can cast people, so I'd be willing to let you spin it, but
Don't
be in
do
the
it
scene.
right. Yeah.
I will.
Be in the scene.
I will be the sheriff again. I'll be Louis again.
Carry your own improv load. Come on.
Yeah. Elle, I'm gonna need you to be my Badger.
What? What of it?
Perfect. Just think of literally anyone in Newcastle. And I don't know, maybe we'll have more people pop up as we go. But I don't want to do too much because I want to give you some time to sort of tell me who Badger is through his space. But I think the camera will like so it's like this wide shot, and it cuts to like an old like corner store that has been we'll go for no because we said the new thing moved in, so we'll say it's like an old service station, an old like gas station, but it's been closed like recently, and it's got still got the closed sign on the door. There's still some paint left on everything, but there's probably some graffiti. The windows are all boarded up from the inside. But out the back of it, there's like this this like haven for bad children where they have secret booze and like stuff that was left over from the gas station set up as like furniture. When you get the long plank of wood and then like 2 buckets and that becomes like a bench seat sort of thing. Yeah. Exactly, where you secrete booze, 100%. And so, Elle, tell me about Badger and what we see and stuff.
So, Badger is out the back of this dilapidated, semi-dilapidated service station. He's got a couple of cronies there, maybe like 2 other kids that look pretty rough. Badger is wearing like jeans that are worn through the knees. He's wearing like a hoodie. You can't trust people wearing hoodies. Let's say it's a death metal band hoodie like, and smoking a cigarette. Oh, should I bring that? No, I'm not going to do that because it's not the thing. Yeah, and he's a big fan of Satan's fingertips, Sid reckons. Yeah, so Badger is hanging out, maybe throwing rocks through some of the remaining glass windows, and smoking durries and talking shit, lots of swears, lots of demeaning language about other people of other types of humans. Insert offensive words here. You can use your imagination or don't, because it might hurt you. But yeah, that's what's going on. Are we going to get busted by the cops?
Yeah, I think like the car rolls up and it's probably like oh boy, small town sheriff would have like a full drive, right? Like some sort of like mountainousy country thing.
Troopy.
Yeah, like a troopy. Brian will have no idea what that is, but I don't think that's international. But like
I have no clue what you're saying, but it's okay.
Kyle's shaking his head.
It looks just like any other car, but it's just got like a sheriff on the side of it, in like black lettering. And it just like pulls up on the dirt, and just like kicks a bit of dust into the air. The door opens and this like booted foot sets down out of it and crunches into the light brown dust.
I think it's that maybe the two other kids there, they piss bolt. Like, that's Australian for run very fast away. And I think maybe Badger's taken a hit off a billy bong and didn't see the sheriff pull up.
And I'm going to play in a card saying our sheriff is already losing a bit of the moral authority as she tries to stamp out the cigarette that she was totally smoking as she drove up.
Awesome.
Oh, I love that. And so she probably leans into that, right? So like she rocks up and sits down next to Badger and like leaves the door open in the car, just like sits down next to him, and she like fumbles around in a pocket, pulls out a pack of cigarettes, puts one in her mouth, and then she like just without even looking over at him, just like sitting there with her elbows on her knees, and she says, have you got a light?
So he's coughing up his last breath, and he like hands over a lighter and tries to like put the bong down where she can't see. Hey, miss. I'm gonna do him with a complete Aussie accent because I'm not gonna pretend that I can do a Midwest accent.
I feel like that's fine and proper, given that all of my characters have exactly my vaguely Canadian, I don't know what accent, so go for it.
Great, thanks.
Badger, I heard you were I heard you had some business dealings with Stuart.
I don't know what are you talking about?
Look, we buried the fact that Stuart got caught with weed at school, and we didn't want to make a deal of it. The kid's going somewhere. He's getting out of here. So we didn't want to get it on his record, but Badger, I can't imagine where he could have got it from. Do you have any ideas?
Nah. Looking down at his feet, kicking the dirt. Nah.
Look, kid, I'm not. I try not to make too much of a deal of things around here. All right, catching you. Look, it's mostly paperwork as far as I'm concerned. So I'll let you get away with a bit, but I've got this special agent in town, and she's asking some questions. Yeah, some questions I don't really want to have to answer about you. So here's the deal, mate. It's you either talk with me now, or we're both gonna have to have a chat with her.
I'm talking to you. What else do you want?
I want to add in a card.
Please do.
I'm going to pull in this one. It's there. Who is Badger hiding that he's scared of?
You're good at the games.
Very, very damn good.
Ooh. Okay. Look, you can't tell anyone this has come from me. You got to promise me.
I think she just like takes this massive drag of the cigarette and like still without. I love the idea they're both just sitting on this bench, like not looking at each other, and she says, "Scouts honor."
Oh, Maggie. You know, that's why sometimes her car services cost a bit more. But you didn't hear it from me, right?
You know, you're the second person who's mentioned her to me today.
She's popular, all right? Now, leave me be. You scared away my mates already. Just trying to chill out here, eh?
Yeah. I just look. I just got to ask you. Do you know why Stuart was down at the beach that day?
Nah.
Come on, Badger. Don't hold out on me.
Nah, mate. Look, I heard he was seeing someone. An older piece of pie. You know what I mean?
Swear to God, Badger, if you say Maggie one more time,
Nah,
throw you in prison.
miss. Nah, not Maggie. Not this one. I don't know. I didn't. No
Have
one
you got a
knows.
name?
No one knows who she is.
Give me a name, Badger.
I ain't got no name.
Badger, you either give me a name now or I'm going to take you down to the station and I'm going to get a name out of you.
Nah, honest to God, all I know is that she was a MILF.
Oh, fuck, I love you, Ellen. Oh, I bet she was. All right. You remember any more? You think of any names? You come down to the office and see me, right?
Fuck that. I'm not going down there. I'll see you. I'll see you at the liquor store, hey?
Oh shit. Oh my God, that's so good. There's probably like a long, protracted sigh, and she goes, Badger, you are the most useful pain in my ass. And she probably like takes the packet of cigarettes out of her pocket, takes one and like tucks it behind her ear, and she puts the rest on the bench beside her as she gets up. And she's like,
Sweet ass, bruv.
Yeah. And she probably says like don't mix it too heavily, and then climbs into the car, shuts the door, and drives off, leaving like Badger in just this like cloud of dust.
Yes! Louis badass.
I assume that's the end of that scene.
I've got, unless anyone's got anything more for it, I'm happy with it.
Wait, that was awesome. So, in that case, everybody who played a card, because I forget who played the blindfold. That was L, right? Take your card. Whoops, if I can actually grab mine.
So what happens? We take the cards that we played.
Take any symbol cards you played into your hand. They are yours now. The scene card goes away. And then
cards, Tyler's.
Are we putting
Awesome.
it somewhere, or are we just leaving it?
Just put it back into your hand, because you can play it back out again, or if you want a scene card, there's no way to get them back except by spending symbol cards that are in your hand to get a new scene card.
Cool, but it's
And then that returns it to the top of the deck, so we're likely to see it again, because we're trying to build a visual language of our show, where the same symbols keep popping up.
Yeah, no, I really like that. Someone's gonna have to fix the sheriff card, because I may have accidentally taken that into my hand.
How dare you? You can't take the sheriff. Okay,
Well,
so
these
did
things
did the sheriff seek details about the murder? Or, yeah, I think so. So we're going to flip that card. Doink. And did Badger show his feelings? I think he did.
No, yeah.
Oh, but Badger doesn't think he did?
No, where do you think his feelings came in?
He seemed kind of freaked out to me.
Right.
Like he was genuinely scared of Maggie.
Yeah, that's true. He did cave. Yeah.
And he was kind of worried about Louis too. Like he was keeping up a tough front, but
yeah.
But since you were Badger, I'll let you tie break.
No,
Do you think that he did stuff?
No man, I'll pay that.
I love your Badger. He's so good.
Mhm.
Okay, so that one flips two. Ta-da. So now they represent different tones, and they have different things to push for, as you can see on their cards. And now it is Elle's turn to see the last scene before we go to the Act 1 close.
Yeah. Well, because I just had so much fun with it. Badger's coming back for some more bad influencing. And Badger's going to be at the mill, right? Mill. Oh, hang on. No, there it is. Oh, hello, Mill. At the mill. And I would call upon... I want to call upon Maggie. Does anyone want to play Maggie? Who played Maggie before?
I did. So let's see a different voice do it. I like the way these characters like pick up different personality traits from each character.
You haven't gone lately, Ryan. You should do it.
Yeah, come
Fine,
on, Ryan.
I'll play Maggie.
Show us how you can. So does the Maggie card come up as well?
No, it doesn't. I was just dragging cards because I was forgetting what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. So, It's Wednesday evening, about 11 p.m. This is the normal time for Maggie to do the drop with Badger. So there's a mill, some old iron infrastructure, some piles of logs, some piles of milled wood, and some sheds with some really big saw blades. So Badger's standing out the front, Badger's right in the middle of like the ground of the mill. It's dark. The moon's quite bright, and there's so many stars out because it's the middle of nowhere. So the sky is really bright with stars. The moon's huge. Badger is nervously sucking down a durry, and sitting on a fence post. Like, he's quite jittery. And then some headlights come into scene and are driving towards him, and he looks like he's about to run while he sees if he could recognize the vehicle, and he calms down when he sees that it's Maggie's pickup truck.
That's exactly what I was going to describe too, so I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. Because it's old, but clearly she's good at keeping things running, and it's in very good shape. And as it pulls up, the lights switch off, and Maggie gets out. She's still wearing a big coveralls and really sturdy sugar boots. You're thinking, Badger, yeah.
Hey Mags, look, before you do anything right now, were you followed?
You didn't tell anyone about the place, did you?
No. Look.
Because we talked about that.
Yeah, no, I'm not a dickhead. But the cops have got some heat on you about that Cooper runt.
No, wasn't followed. But price is going up.
What? Man, you're expensive enough as it is. I could get my cousin to come out from the city and get it for half price. This is bullshit.
Your cousin apparently doesn't have to deal with little shits constantly dragging in extra work. I've got occupational hazards here. He wants to make the trip in, let him.
Right, but, I don't want to get in the shit from your problems, right? I don't care what you do outside of what we do here at the mill, but seriously, watch your back, man.
I'm playing a scene because I have an opinion as a white man.
Please do tell us.
My opinion is that a theory of the crime is gaining traction among local teens. Who beside kids could believe something so far-fetched?
Ooh.
So just to come up, not immediately, but at some point in this scene, I'd love to hear Badger's theory of the crime.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna spit that right now. Look, Max, I don't give a fuck what you did to that kid, right? I just don't want my merch getting more expensive. I have other customers That kid never even paid up. Look, just watch your back. I think the cops know what you did.
You think I killed someone for not paying his bill to you? I don't care where you get your money from. I just care that you pay me.
No, look, I don't know shit, mate. I'm not saying nothing, but just watch yourself, right?
I'd watch yourself spreading that kind of rumor around. I don't need extra heat.
Hey, I didn't come up with that. Look, I'm
You're
your
sure
friend.
spreading it.
The only
Oh, we're friends now.
Well, fuck, I've been working with you for years. What do you call it?
You usually tell your friends that you'd rather work with your cousin?
Look,
Doesn't seem very friendly to me.
all the kids are
I'm
saying
hearing no
it.
loyalty.
All the kids are fucking saying it. You're the only one in this town that gets their hands dirty. Who the fuck else would it be?
I'm gonna add in a card.
Yeah.
Do it!
We will see a dead body by the end of this scene. It's up to you what dead body we see.
Ryan? You were just in awe?
I was in awe, and then I was dealing another simple card to replace it. So now you have a fist to pick, too.
Stop being crude in this chat link. I'm not going to repeat it for our viewers at home.
I never was. If it's in chat, nobody saw it, it doesn't exist, I never said a
Sid's
thing.
halfway through a beer and getting all playful.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the game. Ryan was about to tell us about a dead body he just found.
I was thinking that maybe Badger knew about a dead body we just found.
Oh, okay. I had a bit of an idea that, you know, as well, I've got an idea for when we're leaving the mills. Have we finished this business transaction, or do you still want to be outraged that this plucky young kid is telling you shit?
I think I missed a little bit of that sentence. I heard when we're leaving the mill.
Yeah, so I have an idea for seeing a dead body when I'm riding off on my BMX.
Of course, he's riding off on a BMX.
Yeah. Are we done?
Yeah, I think so. Maggie's just gonna give me the stuff, get the money, give you a glare, and get back in her car and drive off.
Maybe before, look, just let's postpone the next deal. Let's leave it a month. Wait till the heat dies down. I don't want to get seen with you.
Yeah, too much law in town for my taste.
All right.
Ooh,
Well.
ominous.
Yeah, see you, Max. So
Vroom, vroom, driving noises.
So Maggie drives off. Badger cracks the packet that he just got and rolls himself a little spliff. Like he take out the cigarette packet that he got from the sheriff and like made it with that. And he's smoking the spliff and walking his push bike, sorry, BMX, through the yard to go out the back way and there's a milling shed, and the doors are wide open, and there is, on the big milling bench, the giant rotary blade, blood and gore everywhere. And like Badger's coming up to it, like comes to this place all the time. Usually everything's really well locked up. And he's like stuck his head in, saw all the gore, and then he gets the shakes and like drops the joint, jumps on the dirt bike and rides off as fast as his little legs can take him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice. So take back your dead rat, Tyler. We don't want it anymore. And I don't think our bad influence did anything violent in this scene.
I was sort of hoping he'd kill Maggie.
And Maggie definitely did not fix anything ever. She's the worst handyman.
Yeah.
Maggie's such a good character. She's got so much like depth to her. I love it.
Well, I like how thankless handyman is supposed to be kind of... I mean, my initial thought was kind of quiet in the background, you know, like the nice janitor. I know she's the drug kingpin of the town. It's wonderful.
Possible murderer.
Yep.
The town has like 6 people in it. She's barely a kingpin. He sells to one kid.
Dealing pot for some teenagers.
True. I mean, small fish in a small pond.
Right.
So, that, since there were 3 shame cards, unlocks my secret. We're unlocking a ton of secrets in the first one. Secrets.
By a ton, you mean 2?
Yeah. Well, given that there's only 4 secrets in the entire game, they're coming out early. And we've got more accusations of who's the killer.
Can I just do a quick expectation for me? Does this end with us finding out that someone is the killer, or does it end with like us not knowing, or
Maybe.
Right? Okay, cool. That's all I need to know. I'm okay with it. I can do that.
Yeah. There may be clear answers, there may not be. Maybe everyone was the killer. Maybe the real killer is the friends we made along the way. This can go so many ways, we don't know.
So it's like very Twin Peaks. It's like you don't really know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, there is a card in later scenes that indicates that people were possessed, so it could go straight up Twin Peaks if you want. Maybe everyone's been the killer at some point. Maybe there never was a killer. We don't know. Or maybe there'll be a clear answer. That could happen too.
I love it. I love it so much.
Ooh, that's an interesting secret.
So, my secret for our viewers at home is, who do you accuse of being the killer in front of everyone, and how do they prove you wrong? And I'm waffling on a protagonist to bring in for this. I'm gonna snag Kurtz, because he hasn't been in recently enough. And then some symbol cards. Oh, I can use the ones from my hands, huh? Okay, so Kurtz in front of everyone. I guess everyone probably doesn't mean the entire town, although it's a small town, maybe. Yeah, sure. How about in like that diner we established? And there appears a diner. Yay! Can't really play that in, but I'm stealing your symbol anyway because no one can stop me. I have directorial control.
Yeah.
Woo. Kurt says, like, okay, so I've got video evidence that, I mean, you just gotta watch this. And he played this video too, like the crowd of people who are sitting there sipping coffee going, why is this kid showing us his terrible movies? We don't care. You're not Kubrick, just stop. And it's got like dramatic zooms in on the train tracks and a tunnel, and you can see Maggie's pickup parked outside, and she's talking to somebody, and then like dramatic zoom in on some old cigarette butts on the ground. They're like, what are we looking at here? And yeah, again, like far off, like he's hiding behind some trees and kind of angling and then falling out of the tree and trying to pick back up again and stuff. Shots of, it looks like Maggie's talking to some teenagers. And you can see like the lady behind the counter is going, okay, so this is all very artistic, but what's your point, Kurtz? We've got stuff to do. And he's going, no, see, if you look, all of this together is she's in on it, and she is weirdly connected to all the teens in town. And look, like here you can see there's a shot of like a kind of greasy handprint and everything. She's uniquely positioned to have been the murderer. Bum bum bum, and just then the sound effects on the thing go bum bum bum, and he points at it like that's evidence.
He's timed it. So good.
Yes. And I want to have somebody be Maggie, because she has to prove me wrong. Or I guess maybe the evidence could prove me wrong. But yeah, it's going to be Tyler. Sure, Tyler, do it.
All right, this is all going on in the diner, and I think Kurtz probably just wasn't paying enough attention to the back booth.
He is enraptured by his video evidence. He doesn't notice who's in here. They're his audience.
As Maggie stands up. You little shit.
And he falls clean out of the booth. And scrambles back up and tries to protect the camera.
You better watch who you're trying to accuse of things. That Cooper kid died 2 Wednesdays ago. I was in Fort Worth 2 Wednesdays ago picking up a carburetor for your mom's car, you little puke. There's no way it was me. All these people know me, and they know you. You're a no-talent little hack.
But like, did you see the pan shot in there? It was the lighting.
Doris, I'll take my check.
And you can see Kurtz just kind of look back at his little video, which is still going. It has like a title card going like, who's the real killer in Tall Pines? Is it? And a picture of Maggie's shop. And as he's looking at this, everyone has just turned back to their coffee and bacon and eggs, and nobody listens to it, even though he got like a pretty good track to run over the credits, which is just his name for every single position. And he just kind of closes it, kind of hangs his head, and walks out of the diner.
Well, as Maggie puts down like a 20 to pay the bill and walks by him as he's folding up his little notebook, she whispers over, "I'll be seeing you, kid."
Eep. And I think that ends the secret scene.
So many secrets. So much shame.
loads of shame. And I don't think he uncovered the town secrets in that scene, so much as made a really bad video about not knowing them. And I, again, don't think Maggie fixed anything, ever. So, no cards flip. But we are now on to the Act 1 close. Blow that up a bit. And this one is assigned by the prompt that is printed on the top of the close. They each have their own little prompt. But this one is, whoever last saw murder on TV has to frame this scene. And it wasn't me, because the last thing I watched was Glow.
I'm watching Adventure Time.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen a murder on screen.
I mean, Adventure Time is full of murders. But...
No, Adventure Time is full of adventurous slaying. It's not...
Yes, slaying's different to murders.
Slaying is a fancy word for murder.
I saw a Black Panther last night, and that had a combination of murders and slaying. Slay murders.
Did have slay murders.
Yeah, no, there was...
Santa Claus was involved.
God damn it, Ryan.
What? Did I miss something?
I was making terrible slay puns. Yeah, ignore me.
Oh, yes, please. Can you go back to muting yourself? No, they keep telling us what to do now. Thank you.
Okay, so the front of this card has, that reporters, film crews, and at least one news helicopter have shown up to dig into the story of the tragedy and splash the victim's name across, victim's name, singular, across the nation's screens. When a reporter turns the camera on you, and this is where the tones that we've been hitting matter. Because, if I can get this card to flip, we have been leaning really heavily on shame. Like, we've got twice as many shame scenes as anything else by my tally, which means that they're gonna find a protagonist's dead body. So it's up to you whose body they find, but one of our protagonists is dying in this scene.
Yeah. This game is good. This is a good game.
Oh, Ellen, who's dead?
I'm gonna kill Kurtz.
I mean, I love Kurtz, but also I approve, so.
I don't love Kurtz enough. Alright.
Your criticism drove him to an early grave.
So...
by picking to murder him.
Alright. Okay, so... we see... Oh, can I bring in a symbol card as well from my hand? And also,
I think technically no, but yeah, sure, from your hand, go for it.
Oh, look, I don't really need to. We know the diner. We know what the card looks like.
I mean, you're allowed to flavor it however you like, so your scene cards are kind of always up for grabs.
Well, look, I'll put it there. Everyone at home, I'm putting up the diner card, which you don't know what it looks like. Anyway, hey Ryan, do you need to restock that symbol card?
Yes, I do. I was just dealing myself some cards to do that with.
Shit,
Whoops.
GM.
I know I'm terrible. This isn't a GM'd game, though, so I'm a shit facilitator, which is such a worse title. I don't want to facilitate anyone's shit.
Yes. Anyway, let's go back to the Act 1 close. So, open scene. It is dark, night. The clouds have come over, so that beautiful, crisp, clear night that we saw the night before. So now it's like Thursday night. Out the front of the diner, there's tape. There's police tape everywhere. There's ambulance. There's cop cars. There's, well, sheriff cars. There's sirens. And there's actually a reporter down from the city. And as he's talking to the camera, he's saying And good evening. I'm here out the front of the Tall Pines Dinkum Diner, and we have tragic reports coming in from the sheriff's office here of a young boy, Kurtz, who was brutally slain out the back of this cafe. Kurtz is this Raymond E. Kurtz is the second young man to be murdered in the same number of weeks. He was close friends with Stuart Cooper, who he went to school with and completed art projects with. And while he's talking, there's like the school photo of Stuart and the school photo of Kurtz, and maybe their class photo with 90 other students in it, and well, actually small town, 20 other students in it, and they're like pimply little faces. This town has been shook from tragedy, and the local law enforcement seem to have no idea what's going on. Sheriff Blunstone, do you have any comment? Who wants to be my sheriff?
I'm playing a card because you can't interrupt these scenes in the same way you can anything that's not a secret scene. To say that part of the reason that this happened the way it did was that something was bungled, a basic failure of hand-eye coordination. We have a bumbling sheriff's department.
Do you want to be our Louis then while you're at it?
That'll teach me to speak up. Sure, I will be Louis.
Sheriff Blunstone, what do you have to say about this latest in tragic murders in your small town?
Well, I mean, it's a terrible tragedy to lose one young person, much less two, in such a short span of time in such a short town. But we are putting all of our resources to trying to get to the bottom of it, and yeah, all our best women are on it.
Your townsfolk are going to have trouble to sleep tonight. What are you doing to help them? What are you doing to solve the case?
We're requested that all of the youth of the town please stay indoors after dark, so we don't have more people disappearing. And clearly this is extemporaneous. She didn't have a plan. She's just trying to bullshit on TV.
So you're concerned for the young people, but adults, you're fine for them to get murdered? Who's to say this murderer won't go and kill grown-ups?
Our pattern so far seems to be exclusively kids around 18, but yeah, everyone should be very careful and probably let people know where you're going and set check-in times and that kind of thing. Look after each other, like we do in Tall Pines. So,
the reporter just, while Louise is still talking that last bit, and while she's rabbiting on, trying to cover herself, the reporter just looks directly at the camera and says, "Clearly, these cases have got far much more work to do, and hopefully the federal government will step in and prevent any further loss of life."
Oh, we are working closely with the feds.
And I'm Roger Rogerson, and from Channel 7 News. Thanks for your time.
Yes, I love just cutting her off. That's so good.
I absolutely adore it.
Nice. Scene closed.
Okay, so now I can just recall all these. nobody gets any more Act 1 scenes. Now we only have Act 2 scenes.
And what is the process for turning in inspiration cards to get scene cards?
At any point, if you decide that you want more scene cards, or you don't have any scene cards and you need to play a scene card, you can discard one of your symbols, just drag it onto the play mat and delete it, and that'll put it back in the stack. And then you will get another scene card, which you might be able to have it deal you one, or I can deal you one. Just let me know you need one.
Okay.
Or I guess you could discard a bunch of symbols and then get a bunch of cards.
This one, how do I discard it?
You should be able to just... Oh, heck, I've got a window up, so it won't let me do this. Okay. You should be able to right-click and then pick Delete right under the bolded ones at the top of the menu that pops up.
I don't get that. I get Take and Flip.
Oh, then maybe I have to do it. I have many options. Is the dog also going away? So that's a
mine. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an extra card for both Tyler and Ellen.
Okay, and I'm drawing one card. I drew one card.
Sweet.
Ugh, I still didn't get what I needed.
Do we draw from the pile? Oh, hang on. From the symbols pile? Or do we take from the what's out on front?
There's a blue deck you can draw from, or I can just deal you one if you want.
Alright, draw. Done.
I did not get any cards that I needed to get my secret out.
I didn't get the card I wanted, so I'm super bummed.
I had a handful of shame, so I was just playing shame top to bottom. Just shame for days. Which,
I will refrain from making cracks about how all Sid has is shame. Just mention that I'm doing it, which is about the same thing.
Yeah.
Please feel free for those crack. I would find them interesting.
So, does anyone want to take first go, or... Waiting for someone to say something, because I can go if nobody has clear ideas.
Oh, I gotta read my stuff first.
I really like
How dare you take time to read?
You're right.
I really like my cards, so I think that you probably, I've probably got all the cards that you guys want.
There's some in here that I really love, and there's a lot that are good and evocative, but there's some that are really entertaining.
Someone play a damn card.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's Ryan, because I just played that last scene, so...
Okay. So I am grabbing Special Agent Rodriguez, and my card is a dream or a nightmare. Though chilling, you're able to shake off the dream the first time you had it. Now as it recurs, its details speak to the murder in a way you can't ignore. You wake sweating, yet it's as if the dream continues. And yeah, we get our weird dream sequence episode this time. Or at least dream sequence cold open, I guess. Because we see Special Agent Rodriguez kind of stuck it under some crime scene tape in her very official-looking suit and tie and trench coat sort of thing. And with her big black FBI SUV in the background. going to look at where there's not a body anymore, but there's still some evidence things stuck out, and there's forensic people doing what they do, everything, and she can see on the ground a mechanic's business card for what was the terrible name of that place? Like Lou's Lube Job or something?
Lube Job Louis.
Lube Job Louis. I hate that name so much. Kind of picks it up where it's been stepped on, like it fell out of the victim's pocket and then got ground into the mud a bit. Kind of picks it up, looks at it. And as she looks at it, it warps a little and instead says, Maggie's. And instead says a variety of other things where every time the camera focuses on it, it's a different business card. And some of them have footprints, some have blood splatters. It's not even the same piece of paper. And she looks up and it's a completely different crime scene. And there's a car bearing down on her. And as it's about to hit her, alarm, boink, and she shoots up out of bed. And then when we cut to, we're walking back into the diner, which, hey, I could take that scene. And sitting down for a good cup of coffee because her nerves are fairly shot. And I think also in the diner is... Oh, not Kurtz, because Kurtz is dead. I should put a note on there. There we go. Scribbling all over him works. Let's have Sheriff Louie be in the diner as well, because she is no good at anything, like most of the people in our cast. And I think she should be played by... Sid?
Yeah. I should probably do some work rather than just watching y'all. Just have the best fun. Yeah, and I think we just see, like, what time of day are you seeing here, Ryan?
I'm thinking it's sort of uncomfortably early in the morning. Like, the people who have early shifts are probably dropping into this diner for, coffee and eggs or something before heading off.
Yeah. Awesome. And so, Sheriff Louis looked up and she says, Special Agent Rodriguez, are you, is this dinner or breakfast for you?
6 of one, half dozen of the other. Yeah, you get when you can get it.
Yeah, please join me. This food is terrible. It's too terrible to eat alone. Come join me. Probably
the most accurate recommendation I've had of small town food. So, it speaks well of your town that you aren't trying to talk it up too much. She sits into the booth. Or on a stool. I'm not sure where you're sitting. I don't care.
She like half shrugs. Yeah, so I think there's just silence for a while.
And then Special Agent Rodriguez sits forward very suddenly and kind of uncomfortably close and says, "Did you go through Kurtz's pockets?"
I'm gonna play a card.
Oh, please do.
I'm going to play a secret, the secret diary. The only thing more surprising than how you came by the few crumpled, muddy pages of their secret diary is who it points towards. So I think that's what you found in the pocket when you went through it.
Yeah, she pushes the edge of this bacon into her mouth, and then gets a bit of the grease off her fingers, and reaches into a bag beside her and pulls out like a snaplock bag with these pages inside it, and she puts them down and just taps on them and then like keeps chewing through this like undercooked gristly bacon.
I'm vaguely nauseous just hearing about that. That's perfect. and Special Agent Rodriguez picks up this diary, crumpled, muddy pages, apparently, and is kind of carefully leafing through them, trying not to destroy the evidence, bringing it out on the table. Probably getting some mud on the table, too, given that this diary is kind of grody, because she's immediately taken it out of the evidence bag. Oh, and yeah, so, the mechanic murders so far all included local mechanics. We don't think it's a mechanic himself doing it, although it might be. It's hard to say, but they're definitely implicating local mechanics, but it's got to be the work of a single killer. It doesn't make sense that there'd be so many disconnected ones. And here, you're sure this was the only thing in his pockets?
Yeah, like just a mouthful. Like you probably every time you say something, I've just put something to my mouth, and so it's like,
It's maybe the work of a separate killer, or maybe they're breaking their pattern to throw us off the bait. Yeah, this could be, like the Green River Killer did one with all sorts of just completely bizarre extra evidence to try to throw him off the trail, and this could be along there, although not nearly so inspired. But did you know your name's in here?
And like a struggled early swallow gets kind of caught, drinks the rest of the coffee. I haven't had a chance to read all of it. What does it say about me?
And she spins it around, and it would be kind of a rapid, impressive spin if this wasn't kind of muddy and sticking to the table. And she's kind of carefully trying to spin it so it doesn't rip. But towards the bottom, in pencil that's bled a bit because of the mud and damp, it says that Sheriff Blundstone, she knows, and then circled several times.
God damn.
What do you know?
Man, how incompetent she is. Look, I know a lot of things about these kids. Part of being the authority of the town means that I tend to find out a thing or two about it. Like I catch them out at night sometimes, and I take them home without telling their parents. Like I know a lot. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
And yet this boy seemed convinced that you knew something very relevant too. And she spins it back around.
Well, search me. I feel like if I, yeah, it's just like, look, Kurtz is not the most reliable source for information.
All the same, I wouldn't leave town. I assume you're not, because you work here, and there's really nowhere to go. But you're important to this investigation in a way I don't think you might realize just yet.
Like finishes her breakfast, pushes the plate away from her, quickly smashes down the rest of the coffee, and says, "Yeah, look, I got to get back to work. I've got a lot of work to do with two bodies now. If you want to talk to me about something that isn't some weird conspiracy theorists' diary ramblings, please come and find me."
Your disinterest in the evidence is noted. And she slams back her coffee and holds another. You're like, this is very good coffee. This is damn fine coffee. And, yeah, but I'll hang on to these. Pulls out a notepad and immediately just starts taking notes in, it might be shorthand. Who knows what she's up to? And I think that's where the scene ends.
I love it.
I think I have a scene.
Awesome, but hang on to it for a second.
Okay.
Because, first off, did understanding, resolve, and shame match anyone's secret? Cool. And then, did the federal agent get inside the killer's head?
I'm not sure. I don't think any of us have a good enough idea of what the killer's like.
No, I think the federal agent was trying, but not really succeeding. She was just being aggressively weird at people. And the local sheriff didn't expose guilt in town. Okay, so it is up to you, Tyler, to do stuff.
All right, I'm going to put out a scene. It is this one here, a secret tryst. And I'm going to have Charlie, the best friend, in it. Jump there, Charlie. There you are. And let's see, a secret tryst. You meet in the place only you two know because your lovers said they needed you tonight. But now, after holding them, you also hold the burden of their secret. And I'm going to I'm just going to frame the scene fairly as a fairly quick hit scene. If people, of course, want to add stuff in, feel free. But I think we see out, Tall Pines has plenty of trees and forest around it, hence the name. And we see Charlie kind of making his way down a, probably on his bike. It seems like a kids on bike sort of town. We see him riding his bike along one of these dark roads with the trees hanging over the top of it. He turns off down this dirt road. We see this cabin in the back of, kind of in the woods. We see there's a bit of a light on. And as he pulls up to the little front porch of the cabin, we're cameraed on Charlie as he comes up onto the stoop, and the door opens, so his face is flooded in light. We see a shadow kind of cast across it. You said you wanted to see me. We hear kind of a seductive woman's, I know you and Stuart were close. I was kind of jealous of me or of him. And we see a manicured red nails of a hand reach out and stroke his face. Why don't you come in, Charlie? And we see him step forward as the door closes. And it goes black. That's the scene.
I am putting the window, so there's a tiny glimpse of a window shrouded in vines that I'm going to say is the cabin window, and someone is looking in. So I want you to tell me who is spying on this scene and who knows the secret tryst.
I think we see a bike leaning up against the side of the cabin as Badger is peeking in the window, watching this going on. And we probably can see his eyes widening as he's watching them doing their naughty bit things.
Okay, so super quick. I don't think the best friend really did anything risky, unless other people want to argue for it.
Was it risky? I thought he showed envy.
No. If you did something risky in the last scene.
Right. You're correct.
Okay, so Dunk. And we're running a bit long. So,
Can I do a scene?
Go for it, yes.
Strange methods. A ritual of divining as obscure as it is arcane, and perhaps created from whole cloth for this occasion, but its revelatory power is undeniable, uncanny.
Wait, that's the card I was bummed I didn't get, so yay!
Yeah! I knew I got some good ones. So, Special Agent Martina Rodriguez, that's how good I am at rolling my R's. Sorry, people that can do that. So, Federal Agent Rodriguez is in her motel room. The motel room is like every other small town motel room that you've seen, but unlike every other motel room that you've ever seen, there are candles on every available flat surface. There are sprigs and bundles of herbs. There are crystals, and there are a few large feathers. She has created a space in the bathroom, and there is a white substance forming like in the shape of a large circle. It's probably flour or probably chalk. And she is sitting in the circle surrounded by candles, and she has something in her hand. It looks like a piece of clothing, a piece of vegetation, and a small handful of soil, and she is saying words that we can't quite hear, and she is picking up each of these things, and it might actually be in a dead language that we don't quite know. And as the ritual is coming towards its end, she is struck by a vision, and in this vision she sees it's not so much photorealistic or like watching a movie. It's more like she sees things that gives her a glimpse of someone else's feelings and thoughts, and they might be signified by something that she knows and that she feels a particular way about. So she got a series of flashes of these images and feelings, and a Barbie doll type toy that her sister got for her birthday, and it was the exact same Barbie doll that she wanted and she never got to have. And so that leaves her with a really sharp feeling of jealousy and pettiness. There's a feeling of like being hungry, and like as an image of an empty cupboard, and that she relates with when she was a student and really poor. So she's starting to feel that the person that did these things was jealous and desperately poor, or like wanting more money than what they have and wanting something that they cannot have. And then there's a last sensation of a plump kiss, and that's from her first girlfriend that she wanted so much, that she was so in love with and desired her so much, that she now knows that the killer not only was doing this for money, but also doing it for jealousy and for love and lust. And that's the scene. Does anyone want to do anything with that?
I think that was really good on its own.
That was awesome.
Big fan.
I love that Strange Methods card. It always pulls out really cool stuff. And Ellen pulls out really cool stuff, so yay. Okay, and I think the federal agent did kind of get inside the killer's head that time, in a very literal sort of way. So I'm going to flip that card. Okay, and we've only got about 15 minutes on the clock. I don't know how desperate people are to close right on time. I don't want to run way over if people have stuff to do.
I'm fine to run over.
Yeah,
and I know Sid has to work.
It's not. I need to actually leave the house and go and do some things for work tonight. I need to duck down and I'm working at a different station, so I need to like grab my uniform from there so I can take it to the other one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing. So I'm okay to run a little bit over. I'm okay for like an extra half is good. An extra hour probably isn't. Does that work?
That works fine, because I was going to propose that unless you had a really awesome, pressing idea for a scene right now, we could skip to Act 2 close and then try to wrap up 3 quickly. But if you've got a good idea for a scene, you should do it.
No, the best one I've got is called Illegal Drugs, so I don't really want to play it anyway, because we're already hitting that like super well.
True.
We've
done so much drugs.
Can I see if anyone wants any of my cards, because they're really good?
I do kind of want to see what's in your hand, because I'm jealous.
Yeah. So I've got the Dead Speak, brought in for questioning, and written in the killer's hand.
How did you get all of the best cards. Scene 2 cards?
Yeah, because, I know the GM. I meant facilitator. No. So if anyone wants any of those, please, I'd love to see them play.
And using my strange and unorthodox methods, I somehow dealt them all to Ellen, knowing that she would know what to do with them.
Yes. Mwahaha. Good work.
Okay. And I hate to let those go because they're so good. But again, unless someone has a great idea for a scene that should happen right now, let's move to the Act 2 close, probably. Because we do have a forerunner in tone, so we can do that.
Yeah. So what's Act 2 close?
The Act 2 close. Let me pull this up. And embiggen it a bit. Whoever has last spilled blood. I assume that doesn't mean stabbed a person. Probably cut yourself or something. But maybe you stabbed a person. I don't know. I'm only judging a little.
This is probably going to be me.
Oh, right. That's
I practice my IV stuff.
That is your line of work.
Yeah, it's my jam. Unless anyone's really into blood play or something.
And Sid, once again, taking this game there.
As an occupational hazard, I do cut myself, but not any time recently.
I mean, I have a unique talent for self-injury, but I've been good lately.
That just reminded me of a game where Lauren and someone else were playing, like, had blood play scenes.
That's so like uniquely creepy.
So our presiding tone is once again shame. We are full of shame. We are a shameful bunch. Which means that there's the accidental death of our protagonist, so decide who you're gonna kill, and then tell us how this angry mob is involved. Or the other way around, or whatever.
Okay. Okay. Is this anyone's, or is this mine, or is this whatever I'm
You
doing?
last spilled blood, so you gotta
Oh, that's
frame
right.
it.
No, that's how we did it. So I'm gonna do it. All right. So the scene has our Sheriff Blunstone, and she's um she's probably like been called to or she's probably looking around Maggie's auto repair mechanic shop, and they're just kind of like having a chat, and she's probably drinking a cup of coffee that Maggie's given her, and or maybe the two of them having like coffee and cigarettes at the front as she as they talk about it, and she's like, yeah, like thanks for letting me in. I'll take a look around, and then there's just the like this noise of an angry mob following a fiery speech about the murder at a town gathering, and they show up at the police station demanding action. It's okay. So sorry, I forgot. I didn't see this at police station. So the scene is the two of them at the police station, still coffee and cigarettes, and they just kind of have a chat. And she says, "Thanks, Maggie. I'll come up and take a look around tomorrow. It's just we got to do it after the things that Kurt said, and then him ending up dead. Like it's just a routine look around. I wouldn't worry too much about it." And then there's like this big angry mob out the front, and they start like banging on the door, muffled, yelling out, "Roar, roar, roar." And you have a moment to make your voice heard over the crowd. There's exclamations of murderer and killer, and the sheriff steps out the front and says, "All right, like what the hell's going on? She killed Kurtz. He had her pinned in the diner. We heard all about it." And sheriff says, "Right. Stand down. This is going too far. This woman has come to see me as an officer of the law. I will be investigating her. There's no need for this madness." Someone yells out, "The madness is you letting her live." And like a bottle or something's thrown from the back, like a glass Coke bottle, like shatters against the wall of the sheriff's office, and Maggie um goes to run towards the back of the room, and the sheriff just like unclips her revolver holster and puts a hand to it, and she says, "This is a building of law and order. I will not have a murderous mob standing outside my building." And she pulls the gun out and like holds it kind of 45 degrees, like not pointing at anyone, but like threateningly indicating. And she says, "Now," and she like grabs hold of Maggie with one hand, and she says, "This says, I'm going to be keeping Maggie here in protective custody." And there's a roar from the crowd, and someone like pushes someone else forward, and they like get thrown towards Sheriff Blunstone, and as they land on her, the gun goes off, and and everyone scatters. Maggie like runs out the back door of the police station and like off into the woods. And when Sheriff Blundstone picks herself up, there's like, was it meant to be one of the protagonists, or a protagonist accidental death? And when she picks herself up, I think, oh man, this hurts. This hurts. I think as she picks herself up, she sees that that Badger's been thrown onto her, and is like still gurgling blood, and she just kind of like holds onto him and looks at it. And I think like our nearest hospital is hours away, and she just like puts her hand over this big like dirty stomach wound from the revolver. She's like, "Shit, Badger, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, kid. We'll get you out of this." Oh man,
That was perfect and awful, and I'm sad now.
man,
Oh,
rough
wow.
times. I'm sorry, Badger. I really liked him.
Hang on a second. Luke the jerk just came home and was like distracting me, like not making me tea. He's drunk. Did you just kill Badger?
I didn't. You did. Shame did.
Shane,
It happens.
Shane killed Badger.
Shame killed Badger.
I mean, it was an accidental death.
No way,
Did
Luke.
anyone really kill Badger? He just kind of died.
Oh, but Badger was Badger
I
was
know.
a fun Bogan kid, and
I
he
know.
died just now. Sid killed him.
I feel the same way.
Porridge is not happy. You can
Porridge
hear
is
him.
drunk.
Porridge.
All right, go away, Luke. We're tight on time.
I love you, Luke.
He doesn't deserve that love.
So cold.
I'm gonna run fill up my water. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm just gonna deal out new scene cards. So if people need to make a quick run for water or whatever, now is a good time for it.
Yeah. I don't know. I wanted, like, seriously, Sid. You totally could have killed the sheriff. That would have been heaps more epic.
Aww.
I'm a little Badger. Yeah, no, I'm okay with it. Yeah.
I felt like it. I felt like it. Badger's, he's the best.
He was the one that I was most worried you were gonna reach for, so he was probably the right one.
Yeah,
Aw.
that's exactly what I do. As I looked over it and I went, "Who don't I want to die?" And when I settled on Badger, I was like, "Well, see you, mate." The close of
Oh.
Act 2 has to be the darkest point.
Yeah, okay, you did nail it. That poor little kid, he was never given a chance.
Okay, so we're on to scene 3. Everyone should have new scene cards in your hand. I assume people are looking those over. And standard rules apply. If you've got an idea, go for it. Otherwise, by default, I'll do it so we have scenes, because it'll be awkward if our show doesn't include a third act.
Did Tyler get in a scene at the last act?
Yeah, Sid got shorted, but he had to close out the act, so it kind of evened out.
Well, I have an idea if anyone wants to
do it.
Okay. All right. So, just because you stole Badger from me, I'm going to do this. Love in an unlikely place. However the case turns out, at least you've got this. The memories of the moments you spent in the light of someone truly beautiful. Maybe the rest doesn't matter. I think that that card is coming from the perspective of Charlie, but Badger is going to be the person that that they spent the night in. And so it goes like, you guys are all right to go back in time, right?
Sure. I mean,
like not an epic back in time, but just like before Badger was brutally. Okay.
The heart-wrenching flashback where we're like, maybe he didn't die. Oh wait, that's a flashback.
Yeah, no, maybe we can do the flashback while he's in his death throes. So the mob has dispersed. There's an ambulance out the front of the police station, and a very near death Badger is getting wheeled into the back of the ambulance, and Charlie has come running up the street. He heard from the grapevine somewhere that Badger got shot, and he's running up, tears streaming down his face, and like goes to Badger and goes inside the back of the ambulance with him holding his hand. And there's a flashback to before Kurtz was murdered, and it's inside that old service station that's shut down. There's a dingy mattress on the floor in the corner, and there's a small fire on the ground, just burning through the floorboards, like just to warm up the place up a bit. And Charlie is resting blissfully in Badger's arms, and Charlie's freaking out. He's like, I'm really scared. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's doing this, and I don't want anything bad to happen to you. I know that trouble finds you wherever you go. And Badger just says, look, mate. He doesn't say it. Can someone else be a romantic Badger? Because I can't do it.
But I love your attempts to be a romantic Boggin.
Boggin. Okay, are you going to leave me flailing? All right, I'll flail.
I mean, you can tell someone they have to, but...
Yeah.
But I like watching you flail.
Tyler, don't laugh too hard. You're going to be my romantic Badger.
Alrighty. I will not do him the justice that you have, but I will certainly try.
We can caveat with this is a Badger that no one ever gets to see other than Charlie in the privacy of their rundown petrol station.
All right. What was the line that led in?
I just don't want anything bad to happen to you. Trouble always seems to find you.
You don't have to worry about me. You know, I can take care of myself. I'm worried more about you.
Who do you think's doing this? Why would they do this?
Kurtz thought it was Maggie, but I don't know. She's a crazy bitch, but I don't really think. I mean, you could see on his face that, he really did think it was Maggie for a while there. So, he might be lying. What's important is you're going to get out of this shithole town. That's all that matters. You're going to college. And
I'm playing a card saying that it's the crossed fingers, saying that Badger is lying to protect Charlie. I don't really care how or about what, but he is now.
Oh, yes.
You just got to... You're going off to college in a couple of months. You can forget all about me. You're going to make a better life. You're smart, not like me.
You're so much more than smart. Look, I didn't tell the cops about the shit that you were doing to Stuart. That, like, he owed you that money, right? So
yeah, but it wasn't enough to kill him for.
no. Look, I just want you to know that I care about you, and whatever happens, we'll always have the Caltech service station.
And I think Badger probably leans in to kiss you and says something along the lines. Let's see. You're going to go better places, and you're going to forget about me. I'm never going to forget about you.
I could never forget you.
Oh!
Smooches.
And then I guess we flash back to him dying on the street, right?
Don't leave me, Badger! Don't leave me!
Oh.
We just flash back to the like the defib on the side of the ambulance just like flatlining, and then their sirens just turn off.
Oh.
No. Oh, that's the worst.
Ow.
That's even worse than it was before.
But we had to make sure we got those extra feels in.
Yes. Oh, that was good.
And I don't think the best friend did anything risky, so I'm just dragging him back to his spot.
Do you not think having a love affair with the bad boy in town that also caused trouble for his best friend is risky?
Okay, risky? Fair.
Yeah.
Love is always risky.
So that card flips. Fine then.
Ryan, I'm going to turn in a card to pull another scene card. I'm going to get rid of my dead rat, which I like my dead rat. If you'll delete that, and I'll pull a card. I got shit for cards to start off with.
I'm playing a scene. Go fuck yourselves. This is how it happens. May I do some Caught with Red Hands about maybe our local sheriff sabotaging some stuff?
No. I mean, yes, you have the directorial control, so whatever you say goes.
I'm
Say it with
being-
authority.
No, I'm being polite because this is a shared game experience, even if.
Whatever I ask, you say no, say it with authority, so.
Yeah, but you're the shit facilitator.
And I'm facilitating your shit.
You're a wonderful facilitator. So I think Louis is our thing. And now who's gonna catch her? I feel like it's got to come from above, so it'll probably be Martina. I think Ryan, you did Martina last time. So Tyler, I don't think you and I have done a scene across from each other. Do you want to do Martina Rodriguez?
I certainly will.
Thank you. So this is Caught with Red Hands. The person you trusted must have been sabotaging you all along, making sure you were always one step behind. Now you've caught up, but not in time to prevent what they've just done.
Okay. You want to frame what you've just done?
I will. I'm just so parched. So parched. Martina Rodriguez. The shot we see is like Martina walking through the empty sheriff station, and as she comes to the back of it and like opens up the back door, out in the back is Sheriff Blunstone, Louis, and she's got this like metal garbage bin, and in it she's just like there's this small little like fire, and in her hand she's got lighter fluid, and she just keeps like squirting it in there as like things burn and stuff like that. And I think, and she's got just like this this angry look on her face, and as Martina like steps out the back door into this like car park that she's burning it in, a bit of ash like flies through the air, and we can all recognize it as a piece of that diary, that like wet sodden diary there. Yeah.
Sheriff, what are you doing?
So this is nothing but conspiracies and trouble, Special Agent. There's a kid died, and now there's just been more and more death from it.
Are you destroying evidence?
I'm saving this town.
Shit. I think she runs over and she's looking down into, this, hopelessly burnt up. Sheriff, when I report this, you're going to go to jail. You have destroyed evidence.
As long as you report it from somewhere very far away from here, I won't give a shit.
There's something wrong in your town, Sheriff.
Yeah, there is. She's wearing a cheap suit and standing right in front of me. There's nothing going on, okay?
There are 3 people dead. Clearly something is going on, Sheriff.
No, before you got here, there was 1 person dead, and it was a tragedy. And now there are 2 more, and it's because of shit like this. It's because people are walking around this town saying that something's going on. People have got it in their head that there's some boogeyman that's going to jump out at them in the middle of the night. Things were fine, okay?
Sheriff, I can leave. That's not going to change anything. You've got a murderer in this town, and they're not going to stop. That's going to be on you.
Yeah. Look, how about I deal with my demons in my own way, and you stop trying to get into my pocket about this as well. probably like, fuck. She pulls out, shit, man. She pulls out like that same cigarette packet that she handed to Badger before, and inside she's got like his last like rolled up spliff, and she pulls it out and just starts smoking it. Just starts smashing this joint in front of the special agent.
You're fucking crazy. I'm getting out of this town before your crazy rubs off on me. But I'm reporting it. You're gonna be overrun with agents soon. And your ass is gonna be blowing in the wind, lady.
Good riddance. Oh,
and I'm just playing a card saying that as the scene is wrapping up, it sounds like, the fog is rolling in heavily into town, and do with that what you will.
Yeah, I think that Special Agent Rodriguez turns and just is, turns on a heel and starts walking off. And as she's disappearing kind of into that mist, you could just see the shadow of her, and she's mumbling to herself. This suit isn't cheap. And I'll give you the wrap for the scene.
Speaking so quietly that she's probably talking to herself, like, or maybe like talking to that burning little pile of evidence. Louis says, "Be careful, Martina. There's a murderer out there."
Oh, yeah, that's so good. Oh, that's so good.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, that was awesome. And quick reminder, if this series of tones is the same, 2 shames and a resolve as your secret card, then you get to play a secret card. If not, away they go. And did the sheriff expose guilt in town? I think she kind of sort of did the opposite, but...
Yeah. Unless her guilt counts.
Yeah, her guilt.
Do you want to say that? We can flip the card.
Yeah, I think there's something to that.
3-2, vote.
Because that's resolve, right? And I think...
Yeah.
I would think so.
I don't know. You think so, Tyler? Or you don't?
I do.
You do? I think I'm with you. I
Wink.
Yeah, I think it's the resolve thing.
And did the federal agent witness the town's pain?
Not exactly.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
Not
the town.
No.
Okay, cool. Then that scene is resolved.
I have a scene if no one else wants to go.
Go, do it.
All right. I think I'm going to go with Martina again, as she's getting ready to get out of here. As I think she has decided this place is freaking crazy. But I'm going to play the Fraternal Order. An invitation to meet with someone about the case leads you into a room full of the town's men. They're not pleased with your progress. And so I think that we see Martina, packing up her car at her hotel, and we hear someone sort of, "Agent." She turns, and we see kind of a shadowed figure. "Can I speak to you a moment?" Sure. As she goes over and around to meet with this person, And kind of in the alley beside this hotel she has, we see there's a crowd of 5 or 6 of the townsmen there. If anybody wants to jump in with stuff, feel free, but I'm going to describe House if no one has anything in particular. As she comes around, she sees these guys. One of them says, "Looks like you're planning to get out of town."
Can I just add a tiny bit of flavor?
Certainly.
That each of the men are wearing a key around a chain, an old style key on a chain around their neck.
Ooh, I love it. Ooh, I love it. Okay. Can we say it's a car key? And looks like you're planning on leaving. She's like, yeah, look, your sheriff has it under control, apparently. I'm going back to report to my higher-ups, and, I think you'll be seeing some more agents in town soon. And one of these men kind of steps forward, says, "Agent, I don't know if that's such a good idea. We'd like your keys." And she sort of starts backing up. As they move in and surround her, we can hear their keys on their chain sort of clinking as they surround her. And I think they go dark. Yes?
Yes, I want to throw in another card.
Certainly.
Technically, you can only play one.
Oh, shit.
But I kind of love this, so who cares about rules? They're made up. They don't matter.
My first card was only flavor. So, technically. Yeah. So, Ellen plays all the cards. In a breathless moment, the killer has you. Could end you here. Then the hands release, a rushing of steps, a whisper of words, and they're gone. Okay, that's all you get. What are you going to do with that?
Ooh. I think we have that, that press in of them, and we see them just kind of rushing around on her. She's falling back, and then they're moving away as we hear just kind of a voice on the wind. "I think your car needs repairing." And she looks down, and her car keys are gone. I really wish I could have gotten one more understanding out there, so I could have had my secret. Oh,
I would play one, but I don't have any.
This is the closest I've gotten. That's the first understanding card I've managed.
Sorry, man. I have no understanding as well. I do not understand you and your secret.
Oh, well. But
I have an understanding, but the resolve is so much more interesting, so sorry.
I agree.
Nope. Even dumping one of my symbols to draw another card, I still don't have any understanding. I'd understand nothing.
Hang on. Can I play 3 cards just so we can get Tyler's secret out? You wake up.
I'm all for breaking the rules in service of breaking rules.
So this works really well. So there's that scene where you like, "Do you need your car repaired?" And then you wake up and you're in the Black Lodge and you feel like you're dreaming. A voice calls you down the red halls and you find its impossible source. Gone.
All right.
I'm also all in favor of just giving Tyler weird prompts and saying, "So what do you do?"
All right, so she comes to realizing she doesn't have her keys. Her gun's gone as well. She could hear down the hallway the rattle of keys. It leads her through the halls. Rattle, 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 rattle. And she reaches this set of double doors. They're very ornate and wood. And she throws them open. It is this completely sealed room. There's no exterior doors, but it looks just like a garage, a mechanic's garage. The lifts, everything, but no way in, no way out. You could never get a car in here. But that's the garage set up in there. And we see Maggie standing there at the press. And as the doors open, she hits the button and the hydraulics go. Lift one of these hydraulics up into the air. And she's just sort of grinning maniacally back at her. Let's see what the secret is.
And then I give Tyler another
my secret. I'm going to pull it out. There we go. And see, can I flip it? I can. Let's make it bigger. Can we make it bigger? Ryan, can you make it larger? Haha. Choose a protagonist. Then choose...
I really love that secret. Yay.
Choose a protagonist. Then choose 3 symbol cards and use them to create a scene that answers the question below. Whose face does the killer wear when you meet them in your dreams? And why do you feel sorry for them? Ooh. All right. So 3 of the cards down below, correct? I think we'll go with the roses. The tunnel. And the split tree. Oh, I'm giddy with lack of sleep at this point, so I will try to get my secret out there. All right, choosing the protagonist here. I think it's gonna be Charlie. Okay, got it. We had that scene where Charlie had gone to meet the woman at the cabin, and we had Badger who'd watched it, and we just sort of had faded away from that scene. I think we flash back to that scene, only this time we see it from Charlie's perspective looking in, and we see Louie is the woman that was touching him. The woman who had been with Stuart. And she says, I couldn't let him leave us, Charlie. He's the best this town had. We're losing everybody. All the good ones want to leave us. I couldn't let him leave, Charlie. Now he never will. He'll be with us forever. And she leans in and kisses him. How's that?
Ooh, naughty. So much understanding.
Yeah, like that's basically all the understanding we played in this game. There's no understanding in this town.
And I'm sorry, I feel like that was me really throwing logic to the 4 winds to come up with that. But thank you for indulging me.
I mean,
what I know,
Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
logic doesn't apply.
That was really great.
So, what say we move to our Act 3 close unless people have cool scene ideas they want to throw in? Because technically we still have a scene or two to go.
What's your secret, Sid?
I played mine, didn't I?
No.
Oh no, I still got mine. My secret is this, which we were never going to get. To resolve and an understanding. We got to resolve once, but holy shit, there was no understanding.
Can we just play it?
Let's see if it's interesting. What leads you to the woods near the border, and what do you find there that convinces you the victim was afraid? Is that something you're interested in seeing?
I'm just kidding.
Hook there.
Yeah. And we may have actually seen that to resolve and an understanding in our last scene, didn't we? I know we had at least one resolve.
Oh,
yeah, it was one resolve and 3 understanding.
2 understanding and resolve.
Yeah, the game says that if multiple people match, the first one to notice it goes and the next one gets to wait. But rules are made up and logic doesn't apply in Twin Peaks, so you can go for it.
Lucky Mouse.
I'm sorry, Mouse. You're probably cool. Also, fuck
such
you.
a wonderful person, and I'm just going ham on him about it.
No, I approve. You have to insult the person who made the game every time you decide not to use the rules. That's the law.
Ryan, when you run the me absent playtest for Homefront, I want to see that happen all the time.
It's going to be just me staring at the camera going, "You, Sid. This is all on you."
I already do that when I playtest. What leads you to the woods near the border? I don't think I've really got anything in there that's going to give us any more about the town or about the people in it. So I think we already know they thought someone was afraid of them or was after them. Yeah, I don't really think I've got anything. Does anyone? No? Right?
I'm kind of drawing a blank on that one. Although it sounded like Tyler wanted to see a thing. Did he have a story seed? Mostly I just wanted to see people make up weird shit from these.
Yeah, I think I'm spent. Y'all let me get a whole load of the crap out there. I think so I'm done.
All right. Act 3 close, or someone want to play another thing? Or
I mean, I've got some cool cards in my hand, but there's nothing really awesome, and I feel like a lot of them would just be kind of rehashing what we've done before, because we've done a lot of weird awesome.
All right, what do you got for us?
So, this one goes to whoever was last on camera. Aside from this, where we are all on camera.
Yeah, the last time I was on camera was 2 weeks ago with the last game that we played.
I think it was Tyler before this doing Fire Ships.
Yeah.
True, because I did the between at like 6 a.m. my time this morning, but Fire Ships was probably not at 6 a.m.
Yeah, we finished at about 10:30 my time.
And this is a really weird prompt, so I guess it's appropriate that it falls to Tyler.
Alrighty.
And entertainingly...
Sorry.
Oh,
Just
say that.
Saying whether or not Tyler has any more weird left in him.
Yeah,
if we've managed to run out of all of Tyler's weird, then I think we all win a prize.
I am more than happy, though, for someone else who... Because, like I say, I did a whole bunch. So, you or Ellen, I think, have both kind of not had anything here lately.
True. So, I'll put this out to the table. That my scorekeeping went a little bit off because I accidentally put some things in the wrong column, but I'm showing, at least according to my iffy hatch marks, a tie, meaning that you can pick whichever of the ones on the back you like best and run from there, and they are weird. And feel free to flip it back and forth as need be to see both things, but we are going to have a video from the killer speaking directly to you, as if they knew that you alone would be watching this and they know what you're doing. And then it can include proof that they're never coming back, something impossible occurring, or the attempted destruction of the message. That also means you get to decide what the killer looks like on camera.
So who's doing that? Me? Are you, Ellen? You doing it? Okay. It'll be me then, I guess. All right. At first, you can't tell what you're seeing on the little screen, but soon the video resolves itself, and there's the killer, free and presumably out of your reach. It feels like they're staring into your eyes, like they see you, even though this is a recording. Then they speak, and it's clear that this message is meant only for you. I think we last saw Special Agent Rodriguez in that garage with Maggie giving this crazed smile over at her, and she pulls up a set of keys, and we could see that it's Martinez, and she sort of shakes them, so we hear that clink, 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 and Martina turns and starts running, and just running, down halls, the whizzing going back and forth. We see her bust out of this lodge, which is there at the very edge of town, running. She starts running down the road through the tall pines flashing beside her. Her feet are beginning to blister as she runs, it seems like for hours, before finally finding a service station with a light on. She busts in. Behind the counter, we see a pimply-faced kid who's like, "What's wrong, lady?" As Martina runs up, "I need a phone. I need a phone." He's like, "It's fine, lady. I'll go get you my phone." As he steps around and back into the office, the little monitor screen behind the desk there that normally shows, kind of the gas station area, kind of statics. And we see Sheriff Louis's face looking out. "Special Agent, I told you I was going to take care of things here in town. Once you're gone, we're not going to have any more trouble from your fellow agents anymore. Tall Pines is my jurisdiction now." As the guy comes back with the phone, "Here you go." Martina dials it in. "I'm calling from Tall Pines. I need backup here." "Agent Martinez, what are you, Tall Pines?" "Yes, Tall Pines, where I was sent." "Agent Martinez, we have no reports of you being sent to a Tall Pines." "What? I just left." "Agent, yeah, I don't understand what you mean." We see her open that front door, looking back down the road she came from. You can see a street sign, and the road just extending distant through the pines. And on the sign, it says St. Paul, 300 miles. But no longer is there the welcome to Tall Pines.
Oh man, that's so Lynchian. I love it.
So good.
I was wondering how you're going to wrap that up. Nice.
I love this game.
Yeah, and it has, in the end, suggestions that if you've got some extra time, sit around and ask people, so who did kill the victim? Are there multiple suspects? Are there multiple killers? Who did you think throughout the game? Did it change? And stuff like that, where it's just going, so what plot holes were there? And everything, because it says that probably everyone's been piecing them together themselves out of their own pop cultural backgrounds and doesn't have the same idea of what went on. Sort of like if you're watching a David Lynch series, where you're just kind of filling it in because it's weird. And yeah, so the fact that it came together in a really strange way with lots of plot holes, and for part of it, I was pretty sure Badger killed somebody. And yeah.
I thought Maggie
is
was
fully appropriate. Oh yeah, I thought Maggie killed people. I thought Badger killed somebody. I thought Louie killed somebody. Nobody in that town had clean hands besides Charlie.
Poor Charlie.
Oh man, it's so good.
Charlie's hands were dirty in other ways.
True.
Oh my.
And thanks, Elle, for having Charlie and Badger, because, oh man, I shipped that.
Yeah, look, I was feeling you, bro. Thank you guys so much. That was so much fun.
Oh,
That
that was
is
really good.
Slightly abbreviated Tall Pines. And as you can see, it is mostly a weirdness generator, which is what I love about it.
Yeah, so good.
Thank you so much for running this, Ryan.
I didn't write down what my star was. It was like really early on, and I feel really annoyed about it now.
Said, not writing down your stars. How dare you? Or something. I don't know. But yes, thank you all for playing. I was really psyched to see that you were the group for this, because I knew Tyler would be aggressively weird, and I knew that Sid would be cinematic. I knew Ellen would be game.
It's so good at
Gam on. And you certainly facilitated.
You did. You facilitated real good, man. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah.
I facilitated the shit out of this shit, so yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing a really interesting, different game, which is...
Yeah.
Well, and thanks to Miguel for listing that originally, because I saw them list it and went, oh my goodness, you could do that in here if you really tried, and then went, maybe I can play this game with somebody.
Look, if you bring the deck over to Sydney, I'll catch the train down. Sid will fly up, and we'll play.
The next time, I have a layover in Australia for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Could
I'll
happen.
show up with Tall Pines in my bag.
Yeah, could happen.
Please do.
Anyway, if people need to go, that is cool, and you could go. But otherwise, do people have, like, stars, wishes, whatever? Because I do love a debrief, but I don't want to hold up people longer than necessary, given that we ran over.
Stars. There are so many stars. I could have sworn I wrote it down.
I'll say with my stars is that, each of you really, really brought amazing stuff. Ellen, I always enjoy playing with you, but you were like on fire tonight. I mean, you brought so many awesome, cool things. And, Sid, I adore you, and getting some of those interactions. I liked what we did with that sheriff and the special agent scene.
Yeah, I love that.
That ended up really sort of focusing what the end became, I think. And Ryan, this is, it's a hard kind of game because it's so weird to convey to people, and yet it felt like it flowed really nicely. Again, for the bizarreness of what it is, you kept everything on the rails very well. So those would be my stars. And despite how much we've maligned him, I think that the designer made a wonderful game.
Yes, ignore our trash talking. You're pretty cool. Your game is pretty cool too, but also trash talking.
Boy. I think my star has to go to Ryan for it's not for like I said, bringing something different. Like, it's not PBTA, it's not Dungeon World. It's not something that we've seen a lot of, and I love playing new and different games. And I think that this was not just new, but also different. Like, if Miles's intent was to make a weirdness simulator, like, this was perfectly. It's so perfectly Lynchian because nothing lines up and shit just pops up out of nowhere, and like it's exactly what it should be. I like that. So my star is to you, Ryan, for bringing us an excellent game, because I think that brings takes a lot of bravery to kind of go outside the hook like that.
Thanks, and I definitely had moments of, oh shit, I said I'm running this game. I've got cool people sign up for this game. I have to make this game work somehow.
I am giving stars for how everyone was able to play with the characters and the interrelationships between the characters. Like you said, the Martinez and Louis scenes, they were really great, and I really loved how, Ryan, you gave us the freedom to pick up and run with it. And like I think Sid said during the game that when we're each bringing something different when someone different plays a character that they might not have started playing. Really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's cheaty to do the stars around, but I want to star the group, sort of, because in games with shared characters, I feel like a lot of the time people kind of gravitate to one because, I mean, either it's really fun or they have a really great take on it or something, and it's fun seeing people pick up different ones, but in here I think everybody hit a bunch of different ones, and it was really fun seeing how they built on it. Like, I loved Elle's Badger, but it was also really fun seeing Tyler's take on Badger, and I liked seeing Special Agent, Martina Rodriguez pass, I think all the way around the table because everyone had their own weird takes on her, and it was a lot of fun seeing how the characters stayed the same and also warped by having different voices playing them. And also, because nobody can stop me from abusing the star mechanic. I think maybe that was an attempt, but no, you can't. I like how the group... Yeah, it's my game. I will facilitate all I want. I liked how people rose to the occasion of there's some really vague prompts and there's just a deck of strange pictures, and we got a lot of really cool stuff out of it. So thanks for bringing the cool stuff to this game, because I was pretty sure that whatever I threw at you guys would be awesome, but it definitely was awesome. So yay. And I guess my wish, if I'm going to abuse that mechanic too, would be that it would be really great to play it physically because it works better physically. But the odds of having all of you in one room is pretty low. But if that happened, it would be cool.
Yeah, I agree. Physicality is really, really nice.
Yeah, especially because some of those you're really supposed to draw for, and I just kind of went through and picked ones out because drawing when you have different fronts and backs for each card just isn't really going to work.
I thought it was good. I thought it worked really well structurally.
Yeah, I did too.
But unless anyone has closing remarks, I'm going to go ahead and kill the broadcast. So thank you to anyone who watched all the way through. This game is pretty cool. You can go buy it. I forget what the name of his game company is. I'll put a link in the video or something. Hits. Yes, Self-Critical Hits. Thank you for noticing these things. And we've name-dropped the guy a whole bunch of times, and I probably mispronounced his name every single one of them. So go get this game. It's pretty cool.